That's more management, okay? In my wash water control certification class, we ended up with a BMP's checklist for wash water control, okay? BMP's checklist basically is the list that these guys bring to the job site, and first thing on the list is put out a stormwater cover, put out your sandbags, you know, your secondary containment, right? And on down the list, you put out that vacuum, you set that thing up, you make sure that it runs before you worry about starting your pressure washer. If the vacuum has proven itself as actually up and running right now, then don't bother to start your pressure washer, because you won't be able to reclaim if you have to reclaim when there's water spraying, right? So the BMP's checklist becomes a definitive manner of doing business. And the idea that came from this was, wow, you know, if the guys at the job site actually sign off on this and turn this in with the before and after pictures and the invoice to the property management company, aren't you like the first guy ever to get paid fast on what you do for your level of professionalism? Look at that professionalism. How would that feel? That looks and feels pretty good, right? Well, why don't we add another list to that? Why don't we add another document to that, or page 2 or whatever, for environmental health and safety? And so when somebody looks at the invoice on what was done last year, when you did it last time, let's say it was a parking garage or something like that, that may only be done once a year, okay? The new guy that has to make a decision looks on what was done last time, and he's going, wow, look at this checklist, look at these before and after pictures, look at this professionalism. I'm going to expect somebody to do this, right? And you are the example of who that guy should be. You're training, in effect, the new guy to understand what professionalism looks like in a pollution relocation specialist. That would be you. So who's the first guy he's going to call for a quote on getting this thing done this year? You. And what standards is anyone that gives him a quote going to have to live up to on the job site? Your example. Okay? Professionalism. It's a compelling demonstration. It's just as important as being able to clean that spot. How you display your character is your professionalism.
They may not pick you the first time, Jerry, but when the numbnut comes in behind you that they picked for a lower price and screws it all up, it's going to singe into their brain who they should have picked. And it might be the second or it might be the third time, but we're all kind of like undertakers. Everybody's going to use this eventually.
Yes, professionalism always ends up with the bigger contract. Always ends up with the bigger contract. Okay? It's a sustainable relationship with the job site. Most of these guys that are hiring you are spending somebody else's money, and actually I should say women are hiring you. Most of the, as you know, the property management industry is controlled by women. So, you know, she's spending somebody else's money, and what she doesn't want is the phone calls. Man, this, man, that. Somebody made a mess. Somebody left trash. There's graffiti to clear off the wall. Man. She gets all these phone calls, okay? Everything that you do that makes it easier for her to not have complaints is a compelling demonstration, okay? And everything that you do that shows how you control your equipment and your people in the aspects of environmental health and safety, it becomes a huge opportunity for you, okay? If you're trying to get that bigger shopping center to call you for spill control and whatever, if they see you managing hoses so people can walk by without tripping over them. I mean, it's funny, as we go around and do these events around the country, we do lots of demonstrations, and we set up and get in a hurry and going to do a quick spot over here, and then we're going to talk about the equipment and what we did and all this stuff. But I see hose management issues almost every time, okay? Just hose management. We know better than to trip over the hose, but Is this the way we actually do our jobs on site every time? Well, no. Hose management is an issue. We don't want to have hoses laying across the middle of stuff. And even how you use a vacuuming surface cleaner is about work speed when you do or don't have hose management. If you lay the hose off to the one side, you push your surface cleaner down that side and work your way back, you're pulling your hose with you instead of walking into the hose. You don't want to have to walk into the hose with the surface cleaner. You're always tripping over it. That slows you down. So hose management becomes work speed. But if there's going to be other people walking around, hose management is a trip and fall hazard or not. And the way you look on the job site is about your professionalism again. So even if you're 20%, 25% more than the other guy, she's spending somebody else's money, but you have a solid method of character that is environmentally friendly. We have a sustainable relationship with the job site here. These guys take care of us. I don't want to call anybody else. And nobody gets hurt. So the fall hazards just don't happen anymore. Okay? Any questions so far?
One comment we got was that we had good attitudes, we looked professional, we're all dressed the same, they were able to identify our workers, so that really makes a big difference too.
Right on. I've gone over a lot of territory here. Tell me about some of your concerns and
So, everybody, this is Jerry McMillen. Okay, you're good. Any questions?
okay. Okay, so tell me about your job site concerns. Tell me about your equipment concerns. Do you have any questions or comments on